We will take questions afterwards as well. So if anyone does have any questions, there will be a session towards the end where myself and Stewart will be able to take any questions you have. You'll be able to ask those through the chat box. For those that are brave enough, you're more than welcome to switch your microphones on at the end of the meeting. But I do ask, can you please keep your microphones switched off until the end, until we do invite the questions. So just give you a little bit of background. This webinar is being run by Newton IT Solutions. Newton IT are a fully managed end-to-end service provider. So we offer everything from IT support, communications and voice, disaster recovery and backup, and hosted desktop solutions. The really important part about what Newton actually do over the 20 years of actually supporting clients from small to medium-sized enterprises right the way through to large corporates and government bodies is that we're like an in-house one-stop shop, so we can offer the complete turnkey solution for you. So that's everything from the initial design and planning stages right the way through to the rollout and then your maintenance and support thereafter. Now, why does the General Data Protection Regulation affect the IT side of things? Well, most of you know as of the 25th of May, the GDPR will come into place. It's going to be important regardless of the size of your business. If you're a small business working from home to a large organization or large corporate, it will affect everybody that has any engagement in business with consumer or B2B. The idea of this session this morning is to talk more about how you can manage your data. Where there is also lots of training courses and we can steer in the right direction. And there's things that you do need to consider to make sure that you will be GDPR compliant. I just think we've got someone with a microphone. If you've got your microphone on, if you can just switch it off for us, that's brilliant. Thank you. So I'd like to introduce Stewart. Stewart is, as I say, our guest speaker this morning from TermSet. He's going to give us an overview of the ScanR software and how the software can benefit your business. Stewart does have an offer for you towards the end, so do stick along with us towards the end of the webinar, where Stewart will talk more about how you can actually get a better offer on the ScanR software and how this can be implemented into your business. I won't steal Stewart's thunder. Stewart, are you with us there?
I am, David. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear. So Stuart, I'm going to hand over to you. You can take over the screen sharing and talk us through the TermSet and ScanR products.
No worries. I suggest, David, can you also put everybody on mute for me, please? Because someone's not on mute. We're getting a lot of background noise. I think just to be safe.
Okay. You've taken over, Stuart, so that's good. You've got the screen, and let me just make sure we're all muted here.
Great. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, your screen is available.
Excellent. I'll kick off then. So thanks for the introduction, David. Yes, so my name is Stewart Connors. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called TermSet. We're a UK software company, and we've built some technology that helps organisations discover personal identifiable information across structured and unstructured documents across multiple systems. This term PII, which some of you may or may not have come across, stands for personal identifiable information, is a term that's been created by GDPR and the ICO, but a bit more on that later. So our software, as you can see by the slide, does something very specific. It helps you identify and report on sensitive PII information across your documents within your IT systems. And what does that mean to you as a benefit? That means that you are then able to automate the process and respond quickly if you should receive a right to be forgotten or a subject access request from an employee or a customer. So I'm going to, before I actually present the product, I'm just going to talk through one slide, which is the what I call the challenge slide. As most of you know, GDPR is coming into effect in May, and it really focuses around companies that trade within the EU have to be responsible now for identifying and retrieving personal information and manage that and store that in a correct manner for employees and customers. And this data involves personal data such as names, addresses, bank details, maybe medical conditions, etc., etc. And there's really, amongst all the new regulations, there's really, I guess, two things that really keep we're seeing customers awake at night, and that's the first one is the change now to the subject access request, known as SARs. So SARs aren't new. They've been around for many, many years under the Data Protection Act. However, the response time will decrease now from 40 days down to 30 days. So that means that as an organization, you have a shorter period of time now to locate the data and then report and act on that data. The one that's really keeping customers awake at night is this new one called the right to be forgotten or right to be removed rule. This is a new regulation that comes into effect in May. And this is where this will allow employees or customers to request that you identify any information you store them digitally across your systems, and you're either forced to remove it from your systems or to at least report upon it. And again, you have a very short period of time to act on that request. And if you don't present the information to the individual in a given period of time, that individual has the right to go to the ICO and then potentially issue you with a breach, which means either a potential fine or potential bad publicity for your organization. And then at the bottom of the slide, there's some stats here around a survey that was carried out last year around putting GDPR to one side. You can see that you probably read in the press pretty much every week now that some company, whether it's TalkTalk or Deloitte, has been called out in the press for what we call document breaches or personal breaches. So we're seeing a lot of companies, you can see 49% of companies have had a document breach in the past 2 years. A lot of your employees are accidentally exposing information stored within documents, and 60% of companies claim they aren't able to locate sensitive data stored in their documents. So I just wanted to just really kind of focus on what we're seeing in the market today around the challenges around GDPR. So how do we solve that challenge? What's the solution to companies like yourselves? So as I mentioned, our company is called TermSet. We're a UK software company. We sell our software through Newton IT. They're one of our preferred certified partners. What we've done is we built a product that we call Scanner. So Scanner is a software-based product. It's a software application that you install locally within your IT estate. So it's not a cloud solution. It's a solution that you install locally. There's no infrastructure needed. It's an application you install either on your application server or your desktop. And what Scanner does, Scanner will connect to your IT systems. So whether you're storing documents in file shares or in Office 365 or SharePoint or Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, Scanner has the ability to connect to your systems where you store your documents in. And then Scanner will connect to either a file share or an Office 365. And then it has the ability then to look at all the documents that you store on those systems. So we can scan any Office document, so any Word, Excel, PowerPoint, any version of PDF. If we come across an image or photocopy, we're able to convert that image to electronic version. We call that OCR, so we optical character recognition that document. That means we're able to then pull out the text from that image. So if you're a recruitment company, you've got lots of people's copies of their passports or licenses as part of their proof of ID, we're able to see that image, whether it's scanned or photocopied, and we'll pull out the passport number, name, and start and expiry date. So any documents you store in your systems, Office, PDF, or images, we're able to then read them, extract the sensitive data from them, and then from that, we then present that information to you in a series of dashboards and reports that you're able to visualize and enact upon that information. So if you were to receive a right to be forgotten request or a SAR request, you can now see with Scanner, you're able to identify the information, report on it, and then give that the information back to the employee or customer that's making that request. that's a high-level view of what the product does. I'm now going to spend just 4 or 5 slides, high level, showing you how the product would work from a user perspective. So Scanar's been designed to allow non-IT people to use the product as well. Here you're seeing the actual user interface. So Scanar, when you run Scanar, you ask it to do in effect 2 things. The first thing you ask it to do is connect to a system where you want to read the documents in. And then secondly, we're going to ask it what are the keywords you want to find in those documents stored in that system. So we call this creating a configuration. So we're now going to add a configuration and ask Scanar to scan for some information. So the first thing we do is we ask it where to point at. So we're going to ask Scanar in this case to point to a file share. So we're going to either enter the file path name or save it from a directory. So we're now connecting to a file share. If we want to connect to an O365 or a SharePoint platform, we simply enter the SharePoint team site or the O365 tenant name. As you can see here, where the product is fully password protected, you can use your O365 credentials or your AD credentials. So we've now asked Scanar to point to a SharePoint site in O365 and a file share repository. We're now going to ask Scanar what are the key words we wanted to find in those documents in those 2 systems. So this screenshot here you're seeing, this is our rules engine library. So our product ships with basically a list of over 100 keywords that we've generated and gathered from either the ICO, from the GDPR, or from a number of companies across the globe. So here you're seeing on the left-hand side a long list of sensitive keywords. And on the right, we've now decided to choose the following keywords to look for in those documents. So here we've chosen bank account number, credit card expiry date, email addresses, postcodes, and UK street addresses. And again, you can obviously drag and drop and add keywords to the library to search for in those documents. As well as us supplying you with a list of long sensitive keywords, you're also able to create your own keywords. So in this view here, you're seeing how you can create and add your own keywords to the library. Our keywords also follow a certain pattern. So keywords in our product use a form of artificial intelligence, which is based on pattern matching. So in this example, you can see that a credit card number, every credit card number that you search for follows a certain pattern. So the raw pattern is always 16 digits long, 4 numbers with a space, followed by 4 numbers, space, followed by 4 numbers. So you're now able to say, well, in our world, we want to, along with searching for GDPR, we want to search for maybe our employee ID numbers. And we know that in our company, every employee ID number always follows a certain pattern, which in our example is always 10 digits, 5 numbers, 5 letters. So here you're able to give the rule a name, which is employee ID number. When you give it a pattern, you say it's always 10 digits long, 5 numbers and 5 letters. So whenever we see that pattern in the document, we know it's your employee ID number. And we're also able to identify everybody's name in the document. So when we search for people's names, obviously we don't store everyone's name across the globe, but with our pattern matching, we're able to identify someone's name in the document. So based on the pattern matching and the way the document's constructed, we're able to identify people's names in documents, as well as people's addresses, company names, and countries. So in summary here, what we're saying is there's kind of 2 things here. First of all, we ship with the product a list of 100 plus sensitive keywords. You're then able to create your own keywords. And then with our pattern matching feature, we're able to also identify people's names and other information across the search. So this means when we scan for PI information, we have a very high score success rate compared to our competition. So in summary, we've now asked Scanar to connect to a file share and a SharePoint site. We've chosen some keywords to search for. We've created some keywords, and we know with our pattern matching, we're able to identify other keywords as well. So we now ask Scanar to hit scan. So Scanar now goes off, it scans those documents in those systems, it will scan any PDF, any Office document, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. As I mentioned, if we come across an image or a scanned PDF or photocopy, we will pull out the text from those images. So what we see here on the screen is we now presented with a report. So you can now see that we scanned a number of documents. We can see that we found a number of files and documents. We can see that how long it took to find each document, to scan each document. When we initially run scanner, it will obviously scan every document in your systems. When we run subsequent scans of scanner, it will only read the new documents or the delta from the last changes. So every subsequent scan will not scan everything. It will only scan the new changes in the documents from the last scan. You can see in the second from right column, there's a score numbering. So we're also able to add a weight or a score to each sensitive word we find in a document. So you may say every time we find someone's name, their bank details, and their home address, we want to score each word based on a sensitive score rate. So then we're able to see what are the most sensitive documents, and then we can then enact upon that information. So like any reporting system, we're now able to take these reports and then drill into them in more detail. So if we choose one of the actual documents that we found, so here we found a document for Brendan. We can see that we found in this document that his credit card appeared twice in the document. We can see that the CVV number on the back also appeared twice in the document, and the expiry date appeared twice in the document. And you can see on the scoring, we've also attributed a score of 10% to each information we found in that document. So we now know that this document contains 3 levels of high sensitive information. And with our reports, you're also able to ingest our reports into an Excel spreadsheet. So this view here, we're seeing that we've taken that report, we've put it into an Excel spreadsheet. You can now see that in a spreadsheet format, we're able to visualize the information that we found. So we can see the people's, the personal information and the rules, and we can see the weighting on the far right-hand side. So we can ingest documents and the reports into spreadsheets, but also if you like using Power BI or any other BI dashboard, we're also able to ingest the reports we find into dashboards as well, so you can really visualize and picture what we found. So in this example here, we've actually taken the reports, and this is servicing the information in a click dashboard. So here we're saying in this example, we've read 3 data sources. We've read a file share, we've read a SharePoint on-premise 2013, and a SharePoint online. We can see that we've actually found 19,000 documents in these 3 repositories that contain sensitive information for GDPR, just under 80%. And like any dashboard, we're now able to drill into the information that we found. So here we're showing we can break down the information by showing me all documents across those systems that contain people's email addresses or their names or their credit card numbers. In the bottom left, we can also see the records by the file path. So another feature of Scanner is, as we're able to drill into the documents in your systems, we're also able to tell you 2 things. We're also able to point out any file duplicates that you may have in those systems, and we're also able to point out the file attributes. So able to tell you any documents that may have not been accessed or edited for over 10 years or 5 years. So you may have a policy that says any documents haven't been accessed or opened over 5 or 10 years, we want to archive them or destroy them. The same if you have any documents that are duplicated, you may want to again archive them or destroy them, again to kind of help cleanse your data repository. And in the bottom right, we're just seeing another visualization of how we've scored the sensitive data that we found in those systems. Any customers on the call today that have SharePoint? So here's a SharePoint view. So here we're seeing a SharePoint library. So here we've read a number of Word and documents and PDF documents within SharePoint. And when Scanner looks for those in SharePoint, we then create 3 new columns in SharePoint. So the first column we create is which documents, true or false, match GDPR information. The second column, we show is what data did we find in those documents. So what is the information that we were asked to look for? So we can see in this example, we found people's bank details, someone's name, someone's credit card number, postcodes, etc. And on the far right, we've got the scoring system. So we're now able to score what we found in those documents. So on the top document, which says banking, you can see that we found it contained GDPR information, true, and it found someone's bank account number and credit card details, and we scored that 20%. So we can then use third-party tools, maybe like Flow or Nintex, to take those documents and route them to the right people to enact upon. That's pretty much the document, the product I wanted to show today. Obviously, we're constrained by time. We're always happy to, as a follow-up, give you a more detailed demonstration of the product, but I just wanted today to give you a feel at a high level what the product does and how it works from a user perspective. My next slide here is actually taken from the ICO slide. So the ICO are the independent government body that help regulate GDPR within the UK. And this is a slide that they talk about the 12 steps that they advise companies to take to achieve GDPR readiness. I put this slide up because it shows that how TermSet can help with helping you achieve some of these steps as part of the process. So the first step our product helps is helping you with step 2, which is how do you understand the information that you hold within your IT estate. So here I'm hoping that you've seen that with Scanner, we help you understand, identify and report on the information that's sensitive across your IT systems. We're also able to help you with step 5, which is the subject access requests. So here I hope you've seen that we've shown you how you can automate the process to respond to SAR requests. We're also able to help you with step 9. So if you were to receive a data breach, TermSet will help you automate and quickly respond to finding right to be forgotten or SAR requests. My next slide talks about the articles that are contained in the new GDPR regulation. So the regulation, as you can appreciate, is quite a long documentation. It contains 11 chapters with 99 articles. And these talk about what are the steps and the processes and the methodology that you need to put in place to achieve GDPR readiness. And these talk about how do you train your staff, how do you implement processes, as well as technology. And from a technology perspective, if you were to purchase Scanner, would help you comply with over 10 of those articles contained in the GDPR regulation document. And those articles are detailed here. And so as you can imagine, they focus on around helping you understand where your PI data is, how you access it, how you put in place a process to automate and manage any subject access requests. Again, we can forward these slides to you and you can then drill into the actual articles in more detail. So here are our customers. So we deal with customers from all sizes, large and small, across the UK, Europe, and across the globe. One of our recent wins is a United Utilities. They are the largest UK water provider. They were on a journey of migrating all their documents from SharePoint 2010 and file shares to O365. And they bought our Scanner product really for 2 reasons. A, to discover all their sensitive data for GDPR compliancy, and then also they wanted to understand all their duplicates to remove those as part of the migration, and also understand which documents had been accessed for over 5 years, so they could remove those from the migration journey. So rather than migrating 8 terabytes of data to the new O365 platform, they managed to only migrate 6 terabytes of data. They were able to remove a lot of the duplicates and files that weren't accessed for 5 years, and also they were able to identify all the GDPR information when they move it to the public cloud. So almost towards the end of my slide deck, this slide talks about how we price Scanner. So Scanner is priced on an annual subscription. It's based on unlimited users, unlimited scans. We've tried to break the pricing into what we call 3 typical company sizes. So we've broken it into small, medium, and large. So a small company, if you've got about 1 terabyte of data in your systems, which equates to about 1 million documents, you will pay $2,999 per annum for that license, and that includes unlimited users and unlimited scans. You're able to, for £3,000 a year, you're able to run scan as many documents, up to 1 million documents in that year license. And you can see we've broken the bands up to medium and large. So if you're a medium or larger customer, the more you buy, the cheaper the discount kicks in. At the bottom, you can see we have special pricing for public sector and discounting for education. And as a promotion we're running with Newton IT is anybody that buys a license in the next 60 days, so by the end of March, we will double the data you see on the screen today. So if you're a small organisation, if you buy Scanner between now and the end of March via Newton IT, instead of receiving 1 terabyte, you'll receive 2 terabytes of data. So same price, but double the data as a promotion. So thankfully, this is my last slide. So in summary, what I've hopefully shown you today is Scanner is a software product that you install locally. It's able to automate the process for you for discovering PII and sensitive information across your structured and unstructured documents within your IT systems. It helps you quickly respond to any SAR request or right to be forgotten requests. Helps you towards achieving 3 of the ICO 12 steps. Helps you comply with over 10 of the 19 articles contained in the new GDPR regulation documentation. And this is my last slide. We have a website, please visit it. You can see on the website we have more information and we have a short video, but please get in touch. Thanks for your time, and I'll hand over back now to David. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. That was fantastic and a really good insight. I know we've done various things in the past together, and we could actually probably lengthen that 20-minute presentation probably into several hours, really sort of drilling down into the details, etc. I hope that's kind of given you a flavour of what ScanArts can do, and how we, Newton IT, are working with TermSet to get many different organisations from small to medium to large size enterprises ready for the changes of GDPR, which is going to affect us all as of the 25th of May. What I'd like to do now is kind of open up a Q&A session and invite any of our guests who are on the webinar to ask any questions they may like to put to myself or Stuart. You are welcome to open up your microphone and ask the question verbally, or if you wish, you can put it through the chat box. So I'll let you decide if you have a question, which way you'd like to ask that question. Does anyone have a question to get us started? I'll just give you a couple of seconds just to, if you're typing away. Okay, so it seems like we're all quite shy out there. I haven't seen any questions pop up or anyone actually ask a question. I'll give you another 5 seconds just in case someone's still in the middle of typing. Okay, well, I think that's excellent news because it means that Stuart's done a massively good job of actually covering the topic in detail in such a short period of time. Of course, if you do have any questions, you're more than welcome to contact myself or Stuart. My contact details are now on the screen. You can email me at david.bell@newtonit.co.uk. You're welcome to call the office number and speak with myself or one of the team. Alternatively, you can go to our website, newtonit.co.uk, where there's a lot more information. If you actually add a / after the UK and do GDPR, there's a page on there all about the TermSet Scanner products, including the video that Stuart mentioned as well. So you can actually kind of review, and I think the video is about 3 minutes long, and it gives you a real kind of nutshell version of what Stuart's just explained. So I'd like to thank you all for joining. Please do think about the special offer that Stuart's put out there. If you are interested, we will double the data if you place your order by the end of March. So you have up until then to put your order in, speak to myself, pop us an email, have a chat with Stuart if you've got any questions. I am going to speak on behalf of Stuart here because I'm sure he would not mind. If you have any other organisations, businesses, anyone that's involved in running a business and they'd be interested in the Scan R product, I'm sure if you give us a little nudge, we'd be willing to probably offer the same deal to them if they've referred through yourselves, which is double the data to the end of March. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us and hopefully catch you all soon on a future webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stuart, once again for the fantastic presentation.